drama this week, I'm telling you right now. I hope you have a good cocktail because my nerves are shut. Oh, hey, hi, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 4, Episode 6. And all I have to say is, Jorge, drink me. Ooh, look at you. You're spoiling me with a bendy straw, a garnish, and a little umbrella. You know I like to stick these in my hair after I'm done. I know how many cocktails I've had. Seriously, what's the occasion? Do you owe me money? What is it? It's a pink lemonade for Jasmine. Now, that's all right, because you know Jasmine Masters. Here's to her. Oh, whoa! It's more like a citrus slap than a pink lemon, I'm just gonna say. Seriously. So we started the week off where we left it last week. Showdown at Drag Race Corral. Seriously, those two queens were taking a long, hard look at each other. I thought someone was going to get slapped. Until, of course, they didn't. It was just a hot minute that they were giving each other the side eye. Because they clearly seemed very happy to see each other. Well, most everyone seemed very happy to see the Returned. That's what I'm calling them, the Returned. Wasn't that a zombie movie from the 80s, The Returned? On Netflix? Is there zombies in it? Well, then I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, all the girls seem happy to see The Returned. Well, except for Monique, Latrice killer. So, of course, it was quickly revealed that the Returned girls were there to reinsert themselves, sounds dirty, into the race. And then all the girls started looking like Monique. Stunningly stunned. Well, everyone except for Trinity, she had enough. Her nerves were snapped. She told them all, if you aren't shaking in your boots, you better be. And I have to say, I for one believed her. Of course, it was great to see some of the girls again, like, well, Pheromone, who looked fabulous in red, I'm just saying. And can I just have a moment to say, poor sweet, blubbery, close to tears for her. She held out for 4 minutes and 22 seconds. I just want everyone to mark it down. She's a trooper. God bless her. Of course, everyone was gagging to find out who Manila and Monet had selected for elimination. And I need to just say, because no one was getting eliminated, I wouldn't have shown anyone my lipstick. I would have just said it's a do-over, it's a scrub, no fair, no foul, nobody needs to see. Because it lets your strategy out. And certainly, in this case, it was a shocker for Valentina to find out both girls had picked her. Seriously. And you could see her get into her little coconut head and sail off to her island of delusion. I'm so serious. She must have snapped. That's the only explanation for it. Because it was right after finding out that both girls had picked her to go home that she started going off on that tangent about how funny she was during the roast. The roast where she was so funny that the judges forgot to laugh. Seriously, there's something not right with that girl, I'm just gonna say. While everyone was struggling to figure out what the hell Valentina was going on about, Monique and Latrice shared a few words with each other, and those words were mostly baby and lies. At least those are the ones I heard the most. I'm so serious. You know, I'm sorry that Latrice felt that Monique was using a friend as an excuse to kick her out, as opposed to just accepting that she had done the worst. Because that's the reality of the situation. I feel badly for Monique having to explain herself yet again. I love Latrice. Everyone loves Latrice. Latrice wasn't killing it. She had to go. Seriously. And while we're talking about Latrice, what the hell was all of that BS about we don't talk about All-Stars 1? Seriously. That's all most people can talk about is All-Stars 1. Oh, geez, I really hated All-Stars 1. Oh, geez, it wasn't as bad as All-Stars 1. That poor Shangela, she got treated worse than All-Stars 1. Seriously. We're talking to town. And that's why I don't understand why Latrice said she understands what Monique did. Well, everyone knows what Monique did. Monique kicked her off. It's the name of the game. Get into it, Latrice. But there was no time to linger because it was another brand new day in the workroom. And some of those girls certainly were feeling those oats. Latrice, at least, seemed to be. I'm just going to say, I think she had more energy in that entrance than she's had the whole season so far. I'm just saying. It certainly was energetic enough for the editors to almost gloss over Valentina's little fashion parade. I'm just saying. But maybe they were glossing over her fashion parade because they knew what was coming. Because into the workroom, there was Rue in her own little somber Western outfit, which, seriously, in my opinion, started to tread into Valentina's "A River Runs Through It" look. But before anyone could get their hat snatched off their head, Rue told them all what the main challenge this week was. Lollapalooza, lip sync festival to end all lip sync festivals. And figure out what they were going to do with these 4 queens. What they were doing was the eliminated queens in reverse order, meaning Latrice first, then Gia, then Farrah, then Jasmine, got to pick one of the bottom queens from last week, Naomi, Trinity, Valentina, or Monique, to lip sync again. And if the returned queen beat the bottom queen, she got to stay, and the bottom queen went home. Of course, if the bottom queen won and the return queen didn't, well, all I can say is I hope they filled up on that craft table. There. Of course, Manila and Monet were immune because they won, and boy, were they happy about it. In fact, I think that most of the girls would have loved to have traded places with them. Well, everyone but Trinity. She was chomping at the bit. She was ready to go. She wanted to show these girls what it was all about. And she makes a good point. This is All Stars. If you can't slay a lip sync, you have no business being there. Seriously. Val and Farrah had their inevitable chat. And you know, I thought it was very funny that Valentina made a point of saying that she didn't want to be that girl. But the problem with Valentina is that girl is exactly who she is. That vapid, distance, glazed look on her face with that fake smile screwed on right front and center. Am I wrong? Seriously. But I do admire Valentina for being honest with Farrah and telling her that she did kick her out because she thought she was the worst. Seriously, Farrah, everyone with eyes thought you were the worst. No offense. And I just have to say that if Farrah's gone through her whole life having people tell her that she has no talent, maybe she should take a hint on just saying, especially if she's been doing it for 77 years. Jesus, I would have expected something out of her besides a perfect face and some nice outfits. I mean, that's not what drag is. There's also got to be some execution. Miss Fame. Monique said that she was convinced Latrice was going to pick her for the lip sync, and she was ready for it. And so she should be, because she was on her last nerve too with Latrice, throwing all that shade around over how she made her decision. And Monique wasn't going to have it anymore. In fact, she said that if the roles had been reversed, she would pick Latrice herself. Seriously. Latrice wasn't worried about anyone, in fact, because she didn't care. Sure, she had her sights set on Monique, but she could have picked anyone. She didn't care. Most of the other girls, though, seemed to be dismissing Latrice, mostly for her age and maybe her history of drag, saying it's a little too pageanty, maybe her looks are a little dated. But I feel that the rest of the girls were saying that as a dismissal of Latrice so that she wouldn't pick them and send them home. Just saying. Gia seemed to be on her best behavior this whole episode. She didn't say boo, certainly not to Farrah. I was expecting something there. And the only thing she really did seem to do was try to get under Trinity's skin, but of course that's pulled so tightly, it was an impossible task, I'm just saying. She kept saying that Trinity was nervous, even though Trinity kept saying that she wasn't, that she was ready, she was focused, this was her challenge to win. She wasn't nervous. But every time Gia said she looked nervous, she started to look a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. Seriously. Naomi almost pooped her pants, she was so nervous, but she wasn't scared, which impressed me. Even Gia gave her a rare compliment, saying that her confidence was impressive. Personally, I think Gia just has the hots for Naomi. I was also super glad that Farrah had a chance to have a chat with Trinity, too. I mean, seriously, even though Farrah has been doing drag for 7 years? 7 years? Where does she perform? In a basement? Is that why she doesn't dance around or do any jumps? She's afraid of hitting her head? I still don't get that. But seriously, I love Trinity's advice to her, saying that this was just a competition and it didn't define her as a person or an entertainer. It looked like that kind of sunk into Farrah's head, and I'm Fingerdoo's crossed that she takes it and runs with it. We see bigger and better things from her, at least less slipping and sliding and falling. Just saying. Boy, were Manila and Monet pleased to be safe this week. They felt they really dodged a bullet. And because they had nothing better to do, they started to speculate on what the other queens would be doing in this situation. Of course, they were both in agreement that Latrice was going to pick Monique. But when it came to Gia, they run on dry ground there. They didn't seem to know who she would pick or which way she would go. I like that Monet admitted that if she were picking a girl, she would pick a girl she knew she could beat. Pheromone. Possibly Jasmine. You could tell nerves were raw in that workroom, especially when they only saw Latrice shaving over her makeup. And she said, "Would they teach you to do that in jail too?" Well, Latrice wasn't backing down from Naomi Small. She just quickly told her not to F with her. And then Naomi made some crack about her flags. Are you bringing the flags? Did you bring the flags? Which, come on, was pretty funny, and frankly, I think a lot of us were thinking it anyway, I'm just saying. But Latrice shut her down again by calling her a nasty C, or a shady C, or anyway, the C word was dropped. And that seemed to shut all conversation down in the workroom, mostly because the cameras were very quick to cut to commercial, just saying. But before Naomi could get slapped across the room, it was time to hit the runway. And there was Ru looking spectacular again. Talk about Malibu Barbie realness. I'm so serious. That Trixie Mattel had better watch out. Unless she lent her that dress. I don't know. And there was Michelle Visage wearing green. I could have died. She looked good now. I don't know why she hates green so much. Seriously. And did we all catch Ru's original Fame movie quote, "Take off your top, Coco"? Just me? Because I'm old, isn't it? So the girls hit the runway, and this week the category was Lollapalooza Eleganza. And can I just say, I don't think any of these queens knows what the word eleganza means. I mean, seriously. I know I don't want to live in a world where people ignore the meaning of fake words. Seriously. Jasmine was first in a rose bedazzled taupe onesie. I realized that this was the outfit that these girls were going to lip sync against somebody in, and I just have to say, I was not impressed with this look at all. It was very meh, is what I'm saying. Next was Farrah, and she looked fabulous. You know, one thing that I will say about Pheromone is that she's true to her signature look and her signature colors, yellow and pink. And those ribbons on the sleeves were fabulous. I mean, it was a perfect thing for her to wear to lip sync against somebody, because those sleeves would have distracted everyone from, well, just about everything else she was doing, I'm just saying. Next up was Gia, and once again, the first thing I said to myself is, where's the drag in this? This just looked like a Wednesday Addams costume. And all I could do was cross my fingerdoos and hope she had a reveal under there, or something, seriously. Latrice was next in a turquoise Tina Turner Vegas number, something, I don't know, I liked this outfit. It didn't look that bad, but I wished either that the body of the top had been a darker tone to create more of a nude illusion, or had been a totally different color altogether. Because that taupe, it just didn't do anything for me. It was distracting, is what I'm saying. Seriously. It's too bad Manila wasn't competing this week, because that outfit was spectacular and made me super hungry, because I love me some balls with my skinny. I'm just saying. And this is classic Manila. A really elegant look that out of the corner of your eye you wouldn't think anything of until, you know, you get that whiff of garlic and Parmesan. I'm just saying. Next up, the other safe girl, Monet. And I just, meh. I like this dress. It was, again, this nude illusion netting. Now, I get it. Skin tone's a hard thing to match. Most of these skin tones are made for white girls. Very white girls. But there are some darker tones out there. But I wish that this dress, that Monet had either picked a darker nude illusion background for all that beading, or that it had just been a different color altogether. But one thing for sure, I wish it had been cut better around the neckline and that. It looked, if it had been a nude illusion, we wouldn't have seen any of that. But as it was, it just looked like some sheath on a banana. Do you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't fashion. Seriously. Up next was Monique, and she was a vision in her little cloudy purple whatever that was. I mean, it was nice. The boots were the best part of her outfit. But again, her outfit looked a little homemade. And I'm just saying, it just, meh. Seriously. Naomi almost knocked me out with all of her leggy goodness and those red buckles and straps. I'm so serious. It's amazing to me how she can wear so little and still be so completely clothed. Trinity sashayed out onto that stage in a huge cover-up. I mean, clearly she had a reveal under there. And if the girls weren't worried about her before, I'm sure they were worried about her now. I'm so serious. And then lastly, there it was, Valentina. And Valentina, look, I have to say, I love this wig. I like I would steal this wig. I think I would look good in this wig. And I loved her one-arm bandit jumpsuit. That was gorgeous too. But there was something going on with her hips. And I'm just splitting hairs here, but either her pad slipped and it was low, or she wanted that badunkadunk like bouncing off the back of her thighs. But it just seemed low and weird to me. But I still love the color, love the fabric, loved her. Okay. And then it was time for the Lollapalooza. And even though the girls picked who they wanted to lip sync in descending order, they got to challenge their lip sync in the order they were kicked out in. So because Jasmine was first, she went up first. And who did she pick? Well, she picked Trinity. And I thought at first, like, why would she pick Trinity? She didn't have a choice. That's who was left. All the other girls were scared of Trinity, so it was down to Jasmine. And I have to say, Jasmine got to pick the song, and they had the pit crew come out with the boxes, and she picked her box, and it was peanut butter. And just based on the fact of what Trinity's rear end looks like, all the work she's had done, and how often she talked about it, to know she had a cover-up on and the song was peanut butter, if I had been Jasmine, I just would have left. I just would have left. And that's me saying that before I even realized that Trinity had a secret weapon, her world-famous booty shake. I'd never even heard of it. But as Farrah was right to point it out, it was spectacular. And no amount of shaking from Jasmine's padded little booty could have matched at all. So it was no surprise that Trinity won her lip sync and Jasmine went home. Seriously, here's to Jasmine for giving it a try. Pink lemonade, zhuzh. Slappy. Up next was Farrah, and she chose Valentina, like an idiot. Or a trooper, it depends on how you look at it. Personally, I looked at this as her farewell performance, I'm just saying. And I just want to say, actually, both girls were underwhelming to me. Yeah, it was clear that Valentina had done better, you know, but her moves are starting to recycle. Like, she's got 4 of them, and they all involve arms and swinging, and she added the kitty thing this time. That was lovely. And as predicted, Farrah was completely eclipsed by her sleeves. But I didn't think she did a bad job, but there was just no question in anyone's mind as to who won that lip sync. Clearly it was Valentina, and once again, Farrah's on her way home, hopefully to take a dance class. Just saying. Up next was Gia, and she picked Naomi because she's a coward. I'm just saying. And she completely underestimated Naomi, like so many before her. And when I found out that that's who she picked, I thought maybe that's what she was being nice to her earlier, just trying to butter her up, maybe throw her off her game a little bit. And I have to say, as I said before, I wasn't impressed with Gia's costume. The good news was she had a reveal. The bad news was it was this. It was underwhelming. It was a pretty basic, beaded, you know, mail order dress. Like, she didn't even, if she had that custom made, well, then it's all about Gia's taste level is all I'm saying. But I wasn't impressed with this outfit. But it was nice to see her at least wear something sparkly. But no matter how she sparkled, no matter how much voguing she did, there was no comparing her to Naomi. First of all, Naomi's a voguing fool. Second of all, Naomi defies gravity at the best of times. But this here, forget RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star. She could be Queen of the Limbo with that, and I know that has a crown. So with Naomi safe in the back row and Gia back in the workroom packing, it was now down to the Battle Royale. Latrice, Royale, and Monique. And as predicted, this was a big lip sync to watch. I was nervous for both girls. You know, I really like Latrice. She has some great skills, but they're not always equal or better than the girls she ends up against. That said, Monique's been rough at times, and she's had as many low points as she's had high points. So it was anybody's guess how this was going to go down. And I have to say, I was impressed. Latrice used every inch of that stage. She was all over it. And then she had the wig reveal. Now, I have to say, I liked her first wig better, but I was impressed that she had a wig reveal. I was also impressed that Monique had a wig reveal. But because Latrice's reveal was first, hers was underwhelming, if you ask me. But I have to say, I like Monique's wig better than Latrice's. And then, well, they both did splits. They both slid all over. Latrice Swiffer, that whole stage. It's never been cleaner. And when the fringe and glitter settled, Latrice had won. Vindicated. She felt herself return to the loving fold of competition, as she felt she rightly should. And then there was poor Monique. Jeez, she should never play poker. I don't think that Monique should ever play poker because everything lives right up here in her face. Especially, like, she looked down that she was clearly going home, but she passed out. That was a true death drop when Ru revealed no one was going home, and rightly so. I would have felt bad for Monique going home at this stage in the game. Seriously. So, now we're back up to 7 girls. What do you think? It's anybody's guess who could go home next. I mean, because the both queens who won last week picked Valentina, if I were her, I'd be worried. I also, even though she's back, I'm a little worried for Latrice still. I hope that she's able to take this momentum and run with it. The only thing that we can do is tune in next week to see how it all goes down. And then once you're done, you come on back and see me, and you and I'll compare notes. Until next week, first of all, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And second of all, like this video if you do. And until next week, miss me! Mwah! Seriously, Jorge, this citrus slap is